What's up, Internet? I'm just here with Tasso.
Hello.
And we're gonna... Yeah, we're
Okay, so it only has up to normal. We don't have to play super hard, or why are we playing this difficulty?
Oh, we'll get there. We will get there.
But, alright.
The thing about this game is that it has a difficulty setting.
Yeah, I saw.
Just not in the the menus of it.
Okay.
The difficulty actually is in the difficulty comes later, like during certain levels
Well, yeah.
that have like once we get to the shrine level, I'll explain how to ramp up your difficulty if you really feel like you have to.
Okay.
Here, let me.
I do hear the narrator, but
This game is all about. To be honest, this game is a lot more style than anything different.
yeah, the isometric actually, falling down or popping up from the bottom or the top of the screen, for your, to simulate the Shadow of War, the Fog of War element. And it's that's a stylistic way. It's still providing the same reason, just Shadow of War, sticky Fog of War elements.
Yeah. You've been playing too much Shadow of War, haven't you?
No, just hearing about it too much. Haven't even played it myself, but whenever family gets a game, that's what you hear about.
Right. Oh, he'll narrate everything, and I love him for it. But this, you haven't played this.
No, I have not.
You haven't even really looked at it too much, which is oh god. Which is why I wanted to play this with you more than anything else. Is because I wanted to get you're a game developer. Kind of. Sort of.
Sarcasm. Thanks. Just put that out there for the sarcasm, just to be known to the world.
No. You are a game developer. You've developed a couple games.
A game.
And you have it under your belt, so I don't really.
Yeah, I understand. That is the line. You did finish. We did finish a game together.
Yeah, and so I wanted to get your perspective on another game title. And
yeah, it's pretty much the stuff that I got in the feedback about what we did wrong. I have a tendency to look at that type of stuff to try and figure out how they did it, but I absolutely do see the motion, the movement is one of the main problems that I have. Well, not that we had on our game, and the movement and how it's smooth on this, and how do you even make that happen? I still don't have a solution to it. Because, well, it may or may not be using the physics engine available to it, or they may have written their own, but I don't know.
It just feels like, oh god. Counter mechanics and stupid angry.
Yeah, that's getting into, more specifics of it.
So what I like about this game is, one, it's first off, the aesthetics are amazing.
Oh yeah,
the aesthetics are flat out amazing, and the narrator and everything like that does really, really great things to the overall, like, how the game, like, is packaged. And
yeah,
like
it's literally you have a storyteller that is going to tell your story instead of telling a story, even though in reality he's telling a story according to the story. And I have no idea whether that's going to make any sense to anybody, but that's exactly what's happening. So your shield is actually your counter effects for projectiles, or is it just like a defense for anything that's melee?
So when an enemy attacks you in this game,
yes,
there's a wind-up period and everything like that, like just about any other game. But that wind-up gives you the opportunity to use your shield to counter.
Okay.
If you timed it correctly. It's kind of like parrying Street Fighter.
Alright, it's a parry.
But this game, if you counter, you actually do damage to your enemy.
Yep.
And that's
a quick way to deal with enemies that you don't want to fight.
Well, no, not enemies that... Nope. That's not what I want. Not enemies that I don't want to fight. It's enemies that are far enough away from me to cause me problems.
Things that are going to be sitting there, shooting fireballs, since we're on the Street Fighter thing.
Yeah, like, I would have to, like, draw my weapon out.
And then you have the actual, lag time of...
I'd have to, like, draw my weapon out and everything like that. And then, like, because the weapon I'm using is the Breaker's Bow.
Yep.
Which is a great weapon. I love the weapon. It is probably going to enable us to go through most of this game fairly quickly.
Yep.
But the Breaker's Bow, what it doesn't do well is be fast.
At least fast to immediately, deal with enemies that are currently attacking you.
Oh, I killed a person. That's...
What?
I didn't mean to kill that person.
I didn't even see a human.
Well, they were turned to ash.
Oh.
Like...
Yeah,
another thing that...
stylistically, unfortunately, I've got to get used to it so that I can actually see things that are different amongst the things that are in front of me.
Stop that.
Well, that did way too much damage.
Well, no, I've been getting shot the entire time.
It's like, wait a second.
But another good thing about this game is the storyline, and I think that the Supergiant Games, who is the developer of this one, does a very, very good job about this. They create storylines that are amazing.
Okay. Not entirely sure.
And the storyline of this game in particular is that there's a terrible calamity that befell the world.
Yep.
Oh god, I need that. There's a terrible calamity that befell the world, and this calamity has basically caused everyone except for a select few people to turn to stone or ash. Like, imagine Pompeii, except on a worldwide level.
Okay.
That's the problem. And that's why the world's, like, falling apart and, like, places are missing.
Even though there is something below you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably that Breaker's Bow.
Yeah, that's the special ability that the Breaker's Bow gives you, which is a dancing arrow. So if you like have a group of enemies, you can take out like all of them.
Okay.
One of these days, I swear, one of these days, a game is going to give me what I really want, which is a run button.
Ah.
Right?
Yeah, it's because you're supposed to be always running because, well, that's what the sprite's doing.
Right, I know that, but... And that's like one of the only few things that I have a problem with in this game is the fact that I don't have a run button, which means that I'm doing the Legend of Zelda role.
Yes. Which people are actually probably looking to this game to have. If you're looking at the gameplay style, it's more Zelda than it is Diablo.
I mean, yeah, but at the same point in time, you're looking at, I personally, and the good thing is
falling off the cliff.
Yeah, the good thing is that the kid's a mute.
Okay. Another Zelda feature.
No, because like that's what got annoying in Ocarina of Time.
Just Navi.
No.
Oh, him going yeah.
Every time you roll.
Okay.
Which is something I'm actually happy about in this game, is that because he's a mute and because everything's narrated, I'll finish the thought in a second. Because everything's narrated, I need the arsenal. Yeah, that's all I need. Let's go here.
Yeah, I guess it is the fact that this is... I should know a lot more about themes than I do, and how this theme is actually constructed, because it is... The narrator very much has a old Western style of presentation for the way he's telling this story. This was an experience that I had back in the 1890s. However, the way that the actual art is going in the post-apocalyptic style, and like just trying to pick the characters' not perceived nationality, but as much as who is the kid descendant of, like how does he have this power? And that's the type of thing that you get from trying to determine his history based off his appearance or his equipment. So it's like, since he's got the white hair, there's nothing really you can pick off of that. And the muscular actual structure is leading me still up to the, Norse, or, I'm sorry, Dwarven. But somewhere up there, yes. In that style of, this is how your body became like this to be able to actually, become the hero of this world.
I'm messing that up is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm distracting you.
No, I'm just messing it up. Has nothing to do with like what you're doing. Because I'm supposed to be able to shoot power shots.
Yes.
Through all of the
targets, but only have to use 4 shots.
Yeah, like I actually have 5 shots, but I need that for these.
Yep.
Which are upgrades.
Okay.
Which are upgrades to my weapons. Like they're not. I don't have the thing yet that will allow me to upgrade them, but they're upgrades to the weapons that I have.
All right.
And I'll go back and complete those because I need to. Look, there are certain parts of my life
Yes.
That I am not proud of. One of them is my like almost OCD nature of trying to complete a game that I beat. Okay.
Okay.
I have sat for hours looking at a system.
Yeah.
Going, I don't want to play this game anymore. And going like, okay, well, you don't have to play it. You don't have to play it, and still playing it. Like seriously, like I was like, oh look, you're gonna play this game. Like you're gonna play this game. Like, okay, cool, no problem. Let's do this.
I don't want to.
I don't want to keep playing it. Which is like how I ended up with like it takes forever for me to just like stop playing a game.
Okay.
I didn't want this because I wanted to keep the breaker's bow.
What, did I permanently drop your breaker's bow?
No, it didn't. It didn't stop the breaker's bow. What it did is it unlocked another power up.
Yeah.
And that power up replaced my super weapon for the breaker's bow.
Okay.
With a see that little thing with the like the love on it?
Yeah.
It replaced it with that. Which, don't get me wrong, it's helpful.
But it's
just not as helpful
bow.
as having an arrow that hits every enemy on the screen.
Oh yes. Yeah, charm is not that strong.
Like it'll do work. Like this thing is just like sitting there, like going back and forth on enemies, just like
Necromancer,
just like destroying them. Oh god, we are not going to discuss like
Borderlands at this time. Got it.
Oh no, we can discuss Borderlands.
Not willingly.
I'm not going to discuss follies of game design with you. That's not what's about to happen, because if we do that,
we will not leave that topic, and we'll lose the track of the game that we are currently watching being played.
Be here all day.
Oh yes. Okay. By the way, how did you roll that far away?
Oh, I got hit.
Okay.
I got hit, and as I was getting destroyed.
Yes. You teleported in some many ways.
As I was getting destroyed, what ended up happening was I was rolling to try to like stop taking damage, because let's face it, that's how you die.
Only on certain occasions. Taking damage might be the way to actually get to the rest of the game.
The game was like, okay, well, he's rolling, so we're still going to like that.
Yeah, that mess.
Like, yeah, we're going to still like put him in a fall state.
Okay.
If that makes sense
yes.
at all. We're gonna put him in a fall state. Okay, cool. How long is that fall state? Forever. So he can just keep rolling? Yes.
No. But it's okay, because
something stringy.
At least there's bugs. I always like to actually say, here's a perfect game. No, it isn't perfect. Yay.
That's...
It makes me feel better about my actual existence.
It makes you feel better about, like...
my existence.
All the little things.
If there's something, it's like the idea of, there's nothing that's perfect, you lie. And then I actually go and find things that are. And then to be able to say, okay, maybe he was right. Nothing's perfect. It's a comforting thought.
Okay, so... Oh, God, let's go back alley. Am I ready for Scumbag Alley?
Okay.
I need a drink. Gershel, I need you to stop.
Attacking your pet?
No, because like he died, but he didn't give me anything.
Oh.
Because he decided that he was going to dash off the side of the freaking...
I'm dying and I'm taking my actual item with me. Wait, what?
No, it's not an item, but you know, like I've been collecting the like small crystals, like the basic collectible throughout this entire game. And as we like go through the collectibles and everything like that, he has a ton of them if you can kill him.
Ah.
But
I'm going to dive off the side of the universe.
You know, to spite you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you deserve.
Well, he's a villain.
Spite.
He's a villain. Come on, man. That's what villains do.
Alright, so now that I have that, I can go to the arsenal and switch back to the thing I absolutely wanted, which was the Kale Hammer Breaker's Bow.
Okay.
And then switch back to Dancing Shot, because Dancing Shot is...
the one that you need for everything, pretty much.
Almost, yeah.
What, that pet you got is now permanently part of your town?
Yeah.
Huh? Did you pick that thing up at random during attacks?
Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm confused.
What do you mean?
It's the idea that that pet that you picked was random, but depending on which one you let survive, gets back to town and then it's permanent.
No. That's not what happened. So I had gotten an item called the Ragged Hood.
Okay.
And the Ragged Hood, when you talk to that guy, gets you that thing shows up in your town.
Okay.
And if I ate
flowers?
Yes. They're all stab weeds. Like, they do damage to you if you touch them.
Oh, yeah.
There's a prize for it.
Falling off a cliff.
Like, you should know better. Here's some damage. Which, admittedly, I shouldn't be too angry at.
Because it's not nearly as punishing as some of the actual fall damages in these type of games. I've seen some of them deal half max health.
Yeah, like, you're going to, like, congratulations, welcome to death.
Yes.
Well, that's good crystal right there.
Okay.
That is. Remind me to actually go back and pick up that item over there. I just don't want it right this very second.
The thing on the left?
Yeah.
Because it actually gets rid of your ability again?
Yeah. And I wish it gave you, like, the ability to choose. Like, when you unlock something, like, hey, you want to use this? I'm just like...
Yep, there it goes.
Well.
It's time to use a new thing.
No. Eat mine. There. Mine.
Wow. Is that because of the new item that you got? Now you have more slaves?
No. That's storyline. So, like, because I had fought the other Oh god, I'm about to die. Because I had fought the other level first.
Yeah.
Like these things are on my side because I basically killed the old foreman boss.
All right.
Which they hated.
Okay.
They hated. So freaking stab bleeds. No, I just got stabbed by random.
Whoa, Red.
Laying mines. Ancient spices. Eat mine. I'm just rolling around laying mines.
What is that? Are the mines the enemy picked up?
Yep.
Okay, now I can actually touch the darn core. Oh, that's just mean. That's even worse. Though I do hear the music, the style of the music once again actually hitting the Middle Eastern style, which has been a thing for at least around this time, because I'm pretty sure this is when Bravely Default came out for the first one. That theme is actually that stylistic theme for their music.
Right.
Is kind of becoming a common thing that they're introducing into RPG style games. At least, well, in the 3 or 4 that I've actually played, so I can't talk like I'm an expert in any regard.
Got that. Got the item. We are out of here. Level ended. Oh god, I almost died. Like a couple times there. It's a mix between Middle Eastern and because you'll hear, I think it's a sitar.
Yeah.
In there, but it's more Indian.
Okay. Well, now that I think about hearing about spices, tax-free and...
Tax-free?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said he got some tax-free spices. That was part of the point.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of does... Spice trade kind of does end up pointing back to it being a young man in India who's, becoming this person.
Ow. I mean, admittedly, it's a fictional...
I understand.
Setting, but I do see, a lot of the Indian influence in, how the game is presented.
I wish I could understand more of it, because that's my concern, is, I know that it's there, the text at the bottom is...
Probably some fictional language.
Yeah, it is. It's just that it feels based off of something. This one, if you look at the actual banners, in a cityscape, and these banners would actually be something in an actual,
Bazaar. Yeah. Nope. This is bad news.
Yep, time limit.
Gotta everything die here so I can get the experience, but hold off the edge. Falling.
Yep.
Falling
They're
for
careful.
eternity.
They're careful. You're losing careful.
Both of you die there. Thank you. Die so I can... Oh. Ow. It's my face.
Red. Okay.
I'm not dying.
No, not you, Red. I meant the blocks you were standing on were red.
Oh, yeah. I'm Why do you fly? But now I have poison on my weapon.
Okay.
Which, I'm going to be honest with you, makes that 10 times better.
The bow or the just?
Oh yeah, because I have poison on my weapon now.
Yep.
Which means that the ability that. Okay.
Well, you did roll on it on, purposefully short platform.
The weapon that hits everybody like this.
Yeah.
Poisons everybody.
Okay, I thought that was a replacement for that ability, a multi-hit.
No. That's just an upgrade that the weapon gets. So now I poison everybody in addition to hitting them. So I only have to hit them once. There's a power shot for that. There's a power shot for that one. So I like the Western Indian influence that this game actually has. Like, it's borrowing from cultures, but I don't have a problem with it.
I understand.
Like, which I have a problem with and need to die.
It's like, it really does just look like a popcorn, well, one of those, Oh.
I will just out-damage you. like, oh yeah, you're gonna take damage. I understand that. I will just keep punching and healing, like the tank that I am. That's actually a thing I wanted to ask you about as far as developing for like players and things like that.
Yes.
How you handle like multiple play styles.
Multiple play styles, usually it depends on the type of game that I'm building. Usually it comes down to not depending on a playstyle to make the game fun. That's the right way to do it versus the way I end up doing it, which is comparing the playstyles that I'm prepared for and then trying to figure out at least some part of the game to be fun for each of them. I understand it's like I've learned plenty and enough to know that isn't the proper way to go about it, but it's one of the things that it's like I can be a little bit more confident in what I'm doing whenever I actually build out the different play styles. Like, a person wants to go and only punch things, and I'm sorry, you're the main reference I use for this. They want to go and punch things, and making sure that the punching is going to be available to them pretty much at all times. Okay, so make sure that that's there, but there's someone who wants to listen to the story. Well, don't prevent the person who wants to listen to the story from punching things, or the puncher from listening to the story, just make it so that both can possibly happen. And then there's a collectifester. Okay, we got to put collections in there for the puncher and the story listener. It's, you layer it on, and whenever I get overwhelmed is when I stop. And in reality, you're supposed to say, what makes the game fun? Let's just do a lot of it, and whoever wants to play the game will find it.
Yeah, that doesn't happen nearly as much as I think it probably should.
I know the right way versus what in the world I end up doing.
I'm not saying that you did something wrong. I'm saying that it doesn't happen nearly as much as it should, where like we're playing a game.
Yep.
And as we're playing it, like I see where a developer wanted to go.
Yep.
Like I think the episode before this one's Mighty Number 9. And I see where the developer wanted to go with something.
Yes.
And I like, okay, well, let's see what the developer has. And then it's just, no. We built this for someone. just not you.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Like, that's what often ends up happening. Like, yeah, you can do this. I'm not saying you can't.
All right.
But if you're like, for example, the failing of collectathons.
Yep.
Like,
and you just killed 2 more people. I'm just letting you know.
Don't want to. But even my roll does damage, so it's not like I can.
Well, they're made of ash, so even if you had your run button, they would turn into dust if you were to run past them.
But I want to break things.
As we said, there's the game for the puncher, and then there's the game for the actual protector, the person who wants to save the world, and that's because it's that's their actual power fantasy. It's actually being the hero rather than I was the one who beat the villain into submission. 2 different fantasies. They sometimes coincide.
I mean, but that's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
About, like, I don't want to kill these people.
But
like,
they're in the way.
Like, they're not. No, I'm like actually trying to, like, avoid them. But every time I try to avoid them, you're like, come on, man. Can you not be, like, right there?
They're
right
in the way.
Now.
I am rolling here, and you are made of dust.
Okay, Nordy, I'm not going to break you. I'm going to walk all the way around.
Because you literally
are in the way.
Yeah.
like there's not a easy way around you. Okay, I didn't break that one. But how do I...
Is this actually like a ending that would happen if you didn't kill anybody?
No. There is no... it's a purely like personal choice here.
Yeah.
Like, cause I could just as easily roll through everybody and just like destroy all of them. I just don't like to. Like, enemies, I have no problems with things that attack me.
Yeah.
But people, like those right there.
Yeah.
Like that's an easy grenade scenario. I just choose
to not actually, let
yeah,
them
because they're people. Like, I know that they're dead. That, like,
that
whatever.
But beating the game correctly isn't going to bring them back.
That I realize that they're dead and everything like that, but I still don't want to. For me, it's like almost like stepping on a gravestone. Like, you just don't.
Okay.
Like, and I also realize that they're fictional characters. But,
I know.
But, like, you just don't.
Unfortunately, whenever you're thinking about stepping on a gravestone, that's about as qualified as it is a fictional character to you.
What do you mean?
The idea that they may be real is still, all in your head whenever you're dealing with it. Just like the fact that these are all fictional, it's still in your head.
Yeah, like... But he's another person, which means that he has...
The rest of the map?
No. He has a bunch of storyline to himself, and... back to a different discussion that we were having about fixing. Not really about. It's not really a different one. It's the same one, just a different like bit on it. That was bad. Wow. It's like almost time to sit to my face. But when you were designing for players and things like that, do you ever think about I don't know if you've ever done a morality system or ever like even thought about designing one. Do you ever design the neutral stance when it comes to players?
It's kind of odd. Because whenever you think about the neutral stance in general, it feels as though every route that the player ends up taking ends up, in one way or another becoming the neutral stance. Because even if the player is playing the game and experiencing the game, it's like no matter what they feel, it's like usually they don't feel like they're actually in those games with morality systems. They don't feel like they're the ones who are the hero, nor do they feel like they're actually just a toothless, heartless villain unless they were trying to be one or the other.
Right, but like when I'm...
So the designing for an actual neutral stance usually doesn't end up coming into play because the player makes up what neutral is defined as to themselves. Because, Grey Jedi is weird. It is.
That it is. I'm not going to say you're wrong.
It's like... Kyle Katarn happened, and then they just said, well, it wasn't because of any, design decision.
No.
It's the story for this person.
Alright. Something nasty, which is what I need. And something greasy, which is something else I need. Alright. Because something nasty will allow me to power up the thing in order to get the last piece.
Okay.
But that was always something that kind of, stuck with me.
Yeah.
When dealing with, that was something that always kind of stuck with me when it came to dealing with morality games like Infamous or something like that. The neutral decision.
Yes. Because the act of being neutral isn't, I guess, is usually not really considered as part of making a moral decision. It's like, well, there's a lot of things that it's like not choosing to make a decision is the real neutral behavior, but you don't get that option because you're playing the game.
I can see that. Now I need to thank you.
Yep, 100%.
Got it. I'm not gonna keep it, but I guess
collecting.
It's a completionist thing, okay?
Got it. I understand.
like we will complete, or we will die trying. Like right now, I'm probably going to go back and get that
the bow thing.
Because I don't really have the upgrade to it, like all the upgrades that I would need.
Okay.
To do it, but I can now break those things and have more penetration. So even though this isn't my actual run of the weapon, I don't actually like using the weapon this way, it'll make beating this easier.
Okay.
because now I'll be able to do this.
Okay. Well, fortunately, have 5 shots. Ack. Nope.
Missed.
Okay, so
Oh, like the actual, like how you're supposed to do it?
it's just horizontals, because that's full. That's 5. Oh, but it's actually isometric, so getting a straight left and right is going to be would be a pain. That's a miss.
I hit one. I say that.
Yeah.
Knowing that I hit one.
Exactly. It's almost like a not worth a restart type thing. Yeah, that's... yeah, there's no human... Arrows don't do that. This isn't wanted.
Here we go.
Oh, stop you. This isn't wanted.
That is actually a game concept that I wanted for a while. It's just like, I would like to be able to curve bullets.
No, no.
And then it was like, why? Why would you want to curve bullets?
Problems.
Oh, alright.
This is just weird now. Okay,
I'll see if I can save it. I think I should be able to, as long as I...
you can hit this one, and that's not the right angle at all.
I can't save it.
I know. I knew the angle you needed, but you weren't actually trying. You weren't going for it.
Well, I wanted to like try to hit 2 of them, like, and I was trying to hit like across like this one and that one with that one, and then,
Okay.
like the other 2 I could line up from this direction.
3. Yep.
No.
Nope. No.
Yes.
There you go. Ah. Well, baby.
I had to destroy that brick, otherwise it's not going through.
Nope. Too low. Okay.
Otherwise it's not going through. It's just gonna hit that brick and be like,
Yep. That
nope.
was a waste of your effort.
Here you go. Ah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah? You fool. What is that about?
Waste of your effort.
Alright. Oh, but I got a thing. I got a memorial.
Okay.
And so that will give me that gives me money, which is it's okay.
Alright.
It doesn't really but now I need to switch my thing back to being a decent
Style of bow use.
I mean, it's not saying that that's not decent, but dear God, I want to shoot faster with it because that's the best option. Alright, Cinder Brick Fort.
Okay.
Oh no. Nope. No. 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 Eat dot, you. Man, like, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I have been a dot caster for a long time. I will continue to be a dot caster. Let's see if I can do this. Everything dies. Nope. Freaking homing shot. No, it's just like. Also, I think that that's a thing that's lost in games now.
What?
Like how enemy progression, actually. Like, so when you're designing a game with a bunch of enemies in it, you step up.
Yeah.
You're an enemy. Oh God, I almost died. Oh, I am being jacked up. No. But like you step up enemies, so like I'm fighting these regular things with like the pickaxes and they hurt. And life is terrible. But like while I'm doing that, I'm also fighting. Oh, okay. So also while I'm doing that, I'm also fighting a. Oh, stop it. Stop it. I'm also fighting like these cannons that just shoot tons and tons of like bullets, and I'm like, okay, well, they can't handle tons and tons of bullets, but they're really, really slow. And then in this level, which is like the 4th level you get to, they shoot that at you, which is this small, almost insignificant little bullet, but it homes, and you have to like.
What was it? That darn thing from Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
And you can't.
Okay, chances left.
I countered it, and it swung around and hit me in the face. So they're like, you can't counter every bullet that you come across. That's not how life works now. Oh, get me off of this. Thank you. Yeah, dancing shot. Dancing shot's the better of the two. I realize that now that I've done that, like, I'm going to need that scrap musket. Yep.
For this type of fight.
Like, as soon as they give you something, you know you're going to need it. Ow. Stop it. But the scrap musket didn't have any, like, special weapon.
Yeah.
So I would just be sitting here rolling around shooting it. And as much fun as that is, I do want to, you know, beat the game at some point.
Yeah.
Don't you do it. Another thing that comes up when you're designing a game that I've always had questions about is the initial, like, spark process that comes from it.
When do you mean?
I don't know.
What?
Ow. Give me a sec. I'm
trying to live.
No, I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this. Ow. See, I got hurt. Let's go with character placement.
Okay.
Like, how do you start? Not character placement. How do you start with a game in general? What is your
philosophy on starting the game?
Like, do you start with a character first? Do you go with a like the story that you want to tell, or is it more of a style of like, you know what, we're going, this is the thing I want to do? Like, is it more of a mechanical thing? Like, oh man, I want my character to roll at things.
It's honestly a little bit of both. Mostly you actually want to start, I actually end up starting with, let's take a story, write it down. Don't put it into a game, just write it down. But whenever it comes down to making a game, it's because I found a reason that I wanted a game to exist. Like, why do I feel like this is an experience that holding a controller or something has never happened for me and I want to do it? So it's like, then whenever you have this actual, thing that I want to do in a game, then I say, well, is there a story that exists or pieces of any story that I have that would actually, be really appropriate for doing this in? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of mechanical that starts, but it's really mostly because I have something that I want to do. And that action part is, like, what behavior I want to perform is the real driver of how the game starts. For example, I remember that I wanted to make a Toho card game a while ago, and I kind of started that idea based off of, I kind of want to make a card game that is more like War, but it's a little bit more advanced, and I started with that concept, and then everything kind of came out of that. So the game that I wanted to play was the starting point prior to, let's put this into a shmup, and shmup that has Toho is easy and available, and all of that type of stuff came after I said I want to play a game that's kind of like War, but more complex.
Oh, okay. That seems, I don't know. That, like, I've never really thought about I've thought about how games are made, and how we go about, like, getting into those things and things like that. But, often I'm noticing that people have a problem with starting. Like, where do I start?
Now, here's the thing. It's like, if I know that I was starting with a card game, so I went to a card game to start. One of the things that I actually was thinking that would be a good starting place for myself if I were to try come up with something blind out of nowhere is to literally start at the game. Is it Game Theory? I forget where it is, but it's like, Tragedy of the Commons, the Prisoner's Dilemma. Those game concepts and the real root cause of games, and think about which of those are fun things that you want to expound upon.
Okay.
And that's like, those are literally the roots of pretty much all of the game theories, because it goes into, like, levels of knowledge about what's going on, but from your other players' decisions, whether you have information, what will make you win and what will make you lose, and all of those details at the lowest level. And if you don't find any of those things to be a fun experience, they're going to be at all of these, like, for high level things like this game, Bastion. Like, the risk and reward for every one of these is literally, rooted underneath all of your purchases, all of your rolls, all of your actual walks. Mm-hmm. And making the decision about which one of those things are fun and why they're fun is a good way to make a decision about, like, okay, this is the type of game that I would like to make. It's just understanding that low level stuff.
Okay. Keep dying.
Because, for example, that wasn't zero sum. Mm-hmm. Just falling off that cliff isn't a zero sum decision.
Right, like, you just don't fall off and die.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, I either choose the roll and I could either fall off the cliff and die, or not roll or I not roll and needed to and died. It's not zero sum.
Right.
Because, not unfortunately, but in general, all games that end up being rooted into a number of decisions made by the player. Okay. And how frequently are they made, and which ones are being made the most often. And that's where I say, looking at the low-level game theories, is where it's like, okay, would I be okay doing this 555,000 times? Like, smashing. Like, smashing.
Like, can you smash everything and be okay with that?
Yes. What would be the risk and reward of doing so? What are the benefits and the actual problems with doing so? What would make this, Hulk smash more fun?
Okay.
So...
And where does game feel come into that? That
is whenever you're talking, now from my perspective, this might not be the real way it goes, but that's at perspective level of where you actually start to get to how the game feels. But you can usually reproduce that in a manual manner, like whenever you have a piece of paper, some dice, and some cards, you can actually get quite a good perspective on what the game's going to feel like. Because you actually have those decisions that you understand at the lowest level whenever you're building that little prototype.
Okay.
Now, that's one of the things that I probably guess I should be doing right now, is trying to experiment with myself and seeing what the prototype in a paper version of this would look like.
And how that, like...
Yeah, how it plays out. Because it's more along the lines of, literally, this is a series of islands and islands and pathways. So effectively, the way that the game builds out itself, everything else on top of that is just fluff. But what do I do on this island? What do I do on this pathway? Is this pathway time limited? Is this island time limited?
Oh, that was a bad decision on my part. Nope. Nope. Where are you?
You didn't play that. Okay.
What do you mean?
So the board game for Dungeons and Dragons has, like, the idea that the dungeon is randomly generated by a set of tiles, and you put the conclusion of your dungeon somewhere between 9 and 12 tiles into the stack, and then you just randomly draw what the next tile is going to be as you're exploring, all the way down until you run into your conclusion tile, whatever the goal is.
Okay.
And whenever I think about the way that this game was probably designed in its paper form for its prototype, it's probably literally a set of cards where, okay, here's the end of the actual area where you find your core. Is the core card...
Oh, come on, guys. I don't want to blow up people. And I will certainly kill those people if I do that.
Yeah.
do you mean?
Oh. I was actually letting you finish your thought about that hard arrow shot.
I don't want to. Again, it's purely aesthetic, but not even aesthetic. It's purely a personal decision.
Yeah.
But I dislike smashing like people.
The remains of the people who didn't make it.
Yeah, like I understand that they're just there, but they're still people, like, to me.
Understood.
Fictional or not.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because what the world would be that literally just a set of cards where it's pathway and what's it called? Arena. And in the arena you can find either an item. In the pathway you can find an item or a monster. In the arena you fight maybe 2 or 3 monsters. Mm-hmm. Or you find the item or the core. And that's pretty much the, how long, that gets you a little bit of game feel of how long each stage needs to be, or whether it's too long. It gets you an understanding of how frequently do we need to make sure that people are understanding that there's going to be these cards that are going to be items versus monsters, and how many monsters are too many for them to deal with or want to deal with. Even in the card game, you can tell that.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of stuff you can learn by actually just building it out as a small, paper version. And I don't know about like drawing your map as much as here the cards are set up accordingly, but you as a player won't know them until after you actually draw them from the deck. But I build the deck as the game master, as the game itself, in a static way, rather than this being like a roguelike where you just find, oh, there's too many cards before I ran into my darn goal. Holy crap, I nearly died, and it wasn't even, any fault of the developer directly.
That's a hard that's a hard sell, man. Because like there are times I feel like when I'm playing a game or something like that,
yes,
there are times I will say, "Oh, it's my fault."
Mm-hmm.
Like that is most assuredly out of all the people here, it is my fault.
Yes.
And there are other times where I'm like, man, that just doesn't feel
fair. Played out straight unfair. Like they really didn't plan this well.
Well, not even that. I won't go if they didn't plan it well. I think the intent that they had. Mm-hmm. Was different than the result that they ended up getting, which isn't. It's not the same thing as being unfair. I know it feels unfair.
Yeah,
and that's because like that's how I always. But I rarely, if ever, have gone. Oh man, this game. I need that life. This game is unfair because I don't believe in unfair that way. I don't believe in unfair that way. Like. Because if you design the game,
yep,
and you give me the rules beforehand, and you say, okay, here are the rules to a game. This is how you're going to play it, or this is how you play it.
Yeah.
I really can't feel cheated if those rules are adhered to. Like, that's not unfair. That's just me not being as proficient with the game as I obviously need it to be to beat whatever I'm dealing with.
I understand. It's just usually the unfairness is, used as the description of an experience that the game provided that was not, not ignored by the developer whenever they came down to, here's what you need to do versus here's what I'm going to make the enemies able to do, or your opponents be able to do. That's one of the most frequent ones. Is like literally they just have more, they have better information. But whenever it comes to like just in general, whenever I read stuff about game AI, for example, it's like it can't be perfect. It has to make mistakes. Because if it does not make mistakes, then it's intentionally going to thwart everything you do. One of the mistakes it has to make is not knowing what you're doing. It's like, yes, there's a big blue arrow pointing at me. Well, if I have the ability to dodge left, I probably should, right after the arrow moves, and be completely stationary until the arrow is launched. That's AI that shouldn't be built. Because perfect AI is, might be good, but it isn't fun.
Okay, I need...
You had to literally jump off the cliff to make sure you could kill that one.
No, he kept hitting me in the face.
Well, on the floor. The floor kept launching you into the air, and that's also a problem.
And like, it's like, okay, well, just jump on his boat, beat him up there. Really? Nope. He died.
Of course.
I fell off the barge
3 times. Specifically because they're going to keep count.
I have a feeling that you can get 0. But every time I want to get 0, it's just like,
Kill this better. It's better than dying.
Right. That's not good. But they basically, and this goes back to my earlier statement about building your enemy base. I did enjoy how they have basically introduced me to the next series of enemies.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, you're going to have to deal with flying enemies.
Yeah.
That rush you faster than windbags.
Okay.
Like, I really have to do that? Oh, come on. No.
Poison? Or you got an item?
Fuzzy, get dizzy.
Oh, touch Fuzzy, get dizzy. Got it.
It's just a...
It's a... Welcome to that game feature being in everything since Earthbound?
No. Touch Fuzzy, get dizzy.
I know that's what's it called? Yoshi's Island.
I thought that was Yoshi's Island.
It absolutely is. I'm just saying that the inverted controls...
Oh, no, it's not inverted. They aren't inverted. It's just really blinding.
Okay,
like
disabling.
Like I can't see.
Oh, blinding the actual screen is different than disabling
blurs.
The controls.
It's like, I don't know. They blur.
Yeah, that's a whenever
Annoyance.
blind actually did blind you, and I'm pretty sure that's an Ultima feature.
Okay, why was that switch there? That had nothing. Not the switch. The
Launchy back pad.
Yeah, the launchy back pad. Like that was like 2-second walk, guys.
I'm pretty sure that the ground fell out beneath you whenever you launched back.
No, it's still right there. I can go back to it right now.
Okay. Oh, there's lyrics in this music. Why did this happen?
Cause I think that's the next character. Give me coins.
This mic smells like ramen seasoning.
You are hungry.
Just slightly.
Do not eat my mic, man.
I'm not going to eat your mic. I'm just saying.
Dig my hole, you build a wall.
Alright. Yes.
I dig my hole, you build a wall.
Get him.
I don't know. I don't know whether I got him. I just know that I shot in that general direction and he didn't come back. So.
Darn episode 8. One of the only lines that I actually am going to wish that it isn't going to be attributable to that now, but
what?
It is. Did you think you got him?
Episode 8?
I know that's way, way long ago before episode 8, but I think that was one of the more extreme examples of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Whenever he used all 4 AT-ATs to shoot at stinking.
Oh, that's episode 8.
You think you got him?
Obviously not. Oh God, I'm not going to get started on that.
I know,
because I'll be here for months.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
I will be here for months. Talking
about something that we aren't even doing. We know.
I gotta go that way, which means I have to break this. Alright.
Eat bloop.
Oh.
I'm realizing that this no sleep till is also qualifying as no eats till.
I mean, you.
I'm sorry.
You.
I got as far as I could before I started complaining. Look.
You had.
What?
Ow.
Yeah, I know there isn't. We gonna get food. If
do I have to move? Oh, I thought it was over, but no, I have to like actually go over there.